Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Under Further Review with me, Noel Granada. And in these segments, I'll be giving you a quick look at each team going into the 2013 season. I'll be talking about last season, the off season, my favorite picks from the draft, player positions, and can they make the playoffs. Today on my board, we have the Arizona Cardinals. So let's quickly look at what happened last year. Well, they went 5-11, no playoffs. They struggled all season to find a quarterback to play. The offense was one of the worst I've seen in a while the only thing worth watching was Patrick Peterson. And the offense finished last in the league, obviously, and the defense finished 12th. At least this team has some hope somewhere. The offseason. Well, as awful as last season was, the Cardinals are actually looking pretty good with a lot of the additions that they got this offseason. Let's start with new head coach Bruce Arians, who I think is just an offensive genius, especially with that he was able to do in Indianapolis with a team that made the playoffs. Going from they only won 2 games the year before to a playoff contender. That's pretty good. So I think this guy can help change the losing culture the Cardinals have been enduring the past 3 seasons. Next, they went and got a QB. And in the likes of Carson Palmer, I think that puts him in a very good position now. So now he's old and isn't too mobile, but I think we can all agree that he can perform better than Kevin Kolb or John Skelton. And he can get the ball to the best player on the offense, which is Larry Fitzgerald. Cardinals also haven't really had any luck with running backs, so this looks to finally be settled with the free agent who they got in Rashad Mendenhall from the Steelers. But hopefully he can kick his injuries this year because they'll really need him on the offense. They also gutted a lot of people on defense this year, but they patched it up with a whole bunch of free agent players. Now all of a sudden, for some reason, are the Cardinals kind of knocking on the door for competing for the division title in the West? I don't know. I like where this is kind of going, but maybe so. Maybe this is a bright future for the Cardinals this year. My favorite picks from the draft. Well, my favorite picks from the draft. I thought that the Cardinals had a fantastic draft. They went in with 9 picks this year and got lots of good talented players. So my picks go to Tyrann Mathieu from Louisiana State, first rounder Jonathan Cooper from North Carolina, and running back Stephon Taylor from Stanford. Now Mathieu is a stud, and probably should have been a first rounder due to his issues on and off the field. He could be troublesome, but I did see this guy play in the preseason against the Packers, and boy did I like him. He was all over the field, and his presence was definitely felt when he's on the field. So, it's undeniable, and the defense, he can really help out with his playmaking ability. Just a lot of red flags with him about the type of person he is and how he displays himself. But if he can get it together, there's no doubt in my mind that this guy could be one of the hugest steals in this year's draft. So there's a lot to like there. There's also Cooper, who will be filling in at guard, who could really help out with this line. Unfortunately, though, just last week, I think he just broke his leg. So his season is over, unfortunately, and he's in jeopardy to probably miss all of this year, which I'm doubting that's probably true. And lastly, there's Stephon Taylor, who is a route runner, which I really enjoyed watching him play at Stanford, who can find the end zone and do it with power. He's not a speedy guy, but more importantly, he's highly productive, very highly productive on the field. I think the Cardinals found a nice gem at running back with him. Player positions. Quarterback. Cobb is in Buffalo, and Skelton was let go this offseason. So Carson Palmer has a lot of expectations coming in with this offense to resurrect this whole team. So I think Palmer will have a great year because last year he played for the awful Raiders, and still, with that awful team, he completed 61% of his passes and still over 4,000 yards with 25 touchdowns. I'm really interested to see how this all, pans out for him, and hopefully we see Palmer, who still has plenty of gas in the tank left to go in him. Backups will be Drew Stanton this year and Ryan Lindley. Running backs. Last in the league in rushing. Stinky running game, if you ask me. Averaging 72 yards a game is not going to cut it. So, not with any team at all. So that, Arians, he's going to have to bring out Rashard Mendenhall, who is only 6 years into his career and looks to be a clear favorite to start. This is it. If he can kick his injuries, though, I mean, obviously they won't be finishing last, because I think Mendenhall's a good back for the Cardinals, at least to get some running game going for themselves. He's been averaging at least 1,000 yards before his injury season, so I also like Stephon Taylor, who I think can hope get into the mix along with Andre Ellington, Ryan Williams. Obviously needs to stay healthy this year, and he could be out of a job potentially. But so far, it looks very promising. Wide receivers. Well, even star wideout Larry Fitzgerald couldn't even help this awful offense out last year, as he was unable to get the ball. He didn't have a quarterback to pass the ball to him, so now he finally has that. So there's no doubt in my mind that Fitzgerald will definitely get back to his old, productive ways, trying to help this offense, and I'm excited for that. And Andre Roberts is the number 2 guy, who I would be surprised if Michael Floyd ups his game to battle up with Roberts. Both are productive and could potentially see more balls thrown their way. Fitzgerald gets double teamed or triple teamed most of the time. Ryan Swope could find himself in the slot position, but he has amazing speed, which could even help on the outside. Tight ends Jeff King and Rob Hausler look to be returning as the starters, along with the rookie tight end in DC Jefferson, who has a nice big frame for himself at 6'6". So the receivers here just need to get the passes to them, and if they can catch the ball, I can see this unit definitely blossoming into a very productive unit for Arizona this year. Offensive line. Well, usually when you give up the highest number of sacks in the league, there's a lot of guys that probably should have had their jobs, up for grabs. But Arians says there's no need for that, which is kind of weird. There's no need for an overhaul yet. They are getting guys like Levy Brown and Lyle Sendling, if I'm saying that right. Sendlin, back from injury, will really help this line at tackle and center. Guards, Darren College was steady at guard, and obviously Jonathan Cooper, who broke his leg in week 3, he's not going to be playing. I think he broke his leg week 3 against the Chargers. That's going to be a blow. I was disappointed in that. Also, the other tackle will be Bobby Massey, who played very well in his rookie season last year. This line could be potentially fixed, especially all the guys can stay healthy. Defensive line. At this solid ends is Calais Campbell and Darnell Dockett, who I just love. They're very dominant and who have been really playing well for the Cardinals. Nose tackle Dan Williams is making better strides at his position, and really just I just see a super solid unit in this line with these 3 guys. Linebackers. Well, I was very disappointed to find out Darrell Richards linebackers. Well, I was very, very disappointed to find out that Darrell Washington had been suspended for 4 games due to his illegal substance abuse. So, yet Washington is safe to say that he's the most productive in this unit. There are some other guys who are productive too, including will be Jasper Brinkley and Reggie Walker, and outside will be O'Brien, Schofield, and Sam Ocho. I think this can be a breakout year for Ocho, who's a very smart guy. I think he ranks up with the best linebackers in the league, I think. And I'm almost interested to see if Alex Okafor can get some playing time at outside. And also they grabbed Carlos Dansby, I think, so that should really help out too when by the time Darrell Washington comes back. So looks like a pretty sturdy unit right here. Secondary. Patrick Peterson, the only guy besides Larry Fitzgerald that was worth watching the Cardinals last year for. I mean, really, I really like Patrick Peterson a lot. I think he's just phenomenal at the cornerback position and will not disappoint this year at all. The question going into the season, though, is who will plug in at the other spots. Antoine Cason looks to be the favorite at the other corner, and Gerard Powers could battle with Cason. Jeremiah Bell should start at safety with the departed Kerry Rhodes and Rashad Johnson, who will look to replace Adrian Wilson at the other side of the safety, who was just a monster for the Cardinals. I really hope Matthew can find a spot to play this year. Obviously, I like his talent and what he can bring to the table. He just needs to stay out of trouble. So it's wishy-washy for me with the secondary. Special teams. Jay Feely will be back again kicking for the Cardinals, as he has shown to be really reliable and consistent for the Cardinals. Punter will be Dave Zastudil. I'm saying that right. Zastudil. And kick returning will be going to a lot of guys to the Cards this year. I don't know who it is. Talent is very deep there, so we'll find out. Can they make the playoffs? I'm going to say no to the Cards. And I have good reasoning, and here's why. Let's start off with the fact that they'll be a lot better, I think, this year. A lot better. They will actually have some sort of offense and be able to compete. And I'll stop right there. I love that they have a QB. That's one thing. They have a QB that can play well and consistent enough to win some games for them. I don't know what to expect from the team rushing wise, but I think their schedule is really tough, though. That's the thing. I mean, just from the gate, they have potentially 2 games that they can win against the Rams and the Lions, but after that, they take on New Orleans and Tampa, which are 2 away games, then Carolina at home. That's tough for me right there to see them win those games. So, followed by San Francisco and Seattle and Atlanta at home. So that's just, I mean, I don't know. I think about it, and it's just from last year, I don't see them really beating those teams at this point. I will have to see, but I'm just not seeing they'll pull through a lot. If anything, I'm really tracking on how Matthew will get to play. I'm very excited and hopeful for this guy, who should get some playing time somewhere in there. But as far as the team goes, I just think it will take some chemistry, some very long years to get some chemistry working with this team. But they are heading in the right direction. They do have a coach in Bruce Arians who can turn things around quickly. The important thing is, though, the Cards have a QB and in the NFC West. So, that puts them right in the talks of Seattle and San Francisco. So that, my football fans, ends my segment on the Arizona Cardinals. I hope you enjoyed this. Please leave me comments below, and please subscribe to my page. The next teams I will be taking on will be the San Francisco 49ers. Take care, y'all.